Evening, folks. I need to stop looking over there. I need to look over there instead. Good evening. Yes. Happy birthday, Keith. Fucking 30. 30 years old. God, you know what? 30, when I was 30, it was such a long time ago. I can't even bloody remember. And the scary thing was, it was actually the last century that I was 30. God, I feel ancient. Yeah, bloody hell. Anyway, listen, thank you very much for dropping in tonight, folks. Yeah, I've called this a COVID special. Why is that, you're asking? Why is that, you're asking? I've got COVID. Let me think. I was fine. I was absolutely fine. All weekend. I was really, really fine all weekend. And then, let me think. On what day was it? Wednesday, I think it was. I just felt like I'm a bit kind of bunged up. Felt like I had a bit of a cold. Nothing major. Never thought any more about it. Went to my bed, and during the night I was, that horrible way when you're lying in bed and you're trying to. Quite absolutely, Dale. You and me, mate. We were like Laurel and Hardy back then. Everything was in black and white. And yeah, you've got that horrible thing when you're lying in your bed and you're like, eh, you physically can't breathe through your nostril. Had that horrible thing. But I thought it's just a cold. And this is the thing. It's a variety or a strain of cold. It's no different from anything else. It's no different from the flu or whatever. And so if you're not well, then don't mix with people, whatever it is. And but anyway, so the only reason I did a COVID test was yesterday. Excuse me, my girlfriend, she's not been keeping particularly well the last couple of weeks, just with different things going on. And when I told her yesterday that I wasn't feeling great, she went, "Oh, you better do a COVID test." And I went, "Right, okay." So I did it, and it was positive. And yeah, so that's it. I did one this morning, still positive. From a work's point of view, work's perspective, how is the sound, by the way? Hopefully you can hear me all right. From a work's perspective, they say if you've got COVID, if you're positive for COVID, then don't. If you're fit, you can work at home if you can. Which, considering I work at home, it's fine. You don't come to work, and then once you're cleared, you can come back to work again. And it's one of these things. I mean, I wish I hadn't done the COVID test because I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine today. Not a problem. But because I know I've got it, I mean, it's like, for example, if I was to go down and see Dale, if I was planning to go and see Dale and his mum this weekend, I wouldn't go for one simple reason: is you, you can't possibly knowingly put people at risk. Dale's mum's getting on in years, almost as old as me. And yeah, you can't do that to people. You can't. It's fine if if you feel okay and you didn't know you had it, but knowing that you've got it. I mean, I'm fine. Somebody else might not be fine. So because I've done the test, I know I've got it. That's it. So my weekend is completely scuppered. I was actually meant to be going to a gig tonight. It's becoming a bit of a habit. That'll be 3 gigs in the trot. I was at one 2 weeks ago. Went to see my mate's band play, and then I'll talk about the one I was at the other day there. And then I was meant to see my mate's band tonight through in Edinburgh. So can't go to that. Meant to be going to Leeds tomorrow. Can't go do that. So yeah, I'm stuck at home, and I thought, what better cure than to do a live stream with all you wonderful fuckers. So what have I been doing? I've already wished Keith a happy birthday. Let me think. Last weekend I had a really, really nice weekend. Panther UK and his girlfriend came up. He'd been talking about coming up for quite a long time. He first mentioned it, I don't know, Alan is too old for her. Ah dear, your mum is a absolute star. She really is. What was I saying? Can't remember. See, she's embarrassed me. Um, yeah, Panther had been talking about coming up for probably the best part of a year. And then he got back in touch. He says, "Look, we're coming up. These are the dates." So anyway, him and his delightful girlfriend came up to my bit on Friday, last Friday. They stayed over. We went to a gig through in Bathgate. We went to see what did we go to see? We went to see a tribute band. Has anybody heard of Ramstein? If you've not, you need to go and check them out now. I'd heard of them, but I hadn't heard them, if that makes any sense. And the group that we're going to see is called Mordenstein, which they're a tribute to Ramstein. And yeah, I think I asked Panther, I said, what I know that he's a rocker as well. So I said, you fancy it? He went, oh, definitely, mate. So I got the tickets for us. And industrial metal, that's how you would describe them. And I've got to say, brilliant. I mean, they didn't just perform, they actually put on, or sorry, what I should say is they didn't just sing, they actually put on a proper performance. It's like a kind of Alice Cooper type show where it's all about performance, it's about the singing, it's about the stage presence. The lead singer, looked yeah, the guy looks a bit like, I'm trying to think. He's like a cross between Brandon Lee when he took part in The Crow and Heath Ledger when he was a Joker. That'll look very goth. And actually, after the gig, I watched a bit of Ramstein the next day, and they were very good. The lead singer, actually looks like the lead singer, but they're brilliant, really, really good. If you fancy giving industrial metal a try, give it a go. You need to watch their videos. They've got some epic videos. So that was really, really good. So that was Friday, and then on Saturday we went through to my girlfriend's, and Panther had said to me, "Just I want you to treat me to some pure Scottish hospitality." So I took him to the pub and got him pissed. No, I didn't actually do that. We what did we do? Went through to Stirling. We went to Stirling Castle, and that's a great place. We then went across to the Wallace Monument. We went to the Kelpies. We had fish and chips. What else did we do? We went to kind of craft fair as well, which was not craft work, craft fair. Had a great time, absolutely fantastic. Great to see Chris, and I says his girlfriend. Really, really cracking couple. I don't mind saying I've never seen the guy look as happy as he is. He's so happy, and I'm so pleased for him. So that was really nice. And then on the Sunday morning, we came back here, and then they went away. They went up north actually for a few days, so that was great. Monday, didn't do very much. Tuesday, I was playing pool and I won my match. I won it 5-2, which is only the second match that I've won. No, I tell a lie. Yeah, it's the second match in this league that I've won. But played really, really well. That was good. Wednesday, yeah, I did. I had work, and then I did a live stream with Dale. It was completely unplanned. We were attempting to play a game. Can't remember what it was called again. Dale's going to tell me what it was. Played this game. The only problem is, and you get that problem with driving games, when one player, i.e. Dale, went so far in front, it was boring to watch. And the thing is, we were trying to get a setup so that you could see my screen, you could see his screen, and you could see us and hear us. But it's not that simple. So we're trying with a combination of OBS and StreamYard, and we spent probably the best part of an hour trying to get it working. Eventually, we gave up, and we just put on. What did we do? We just loaded up StreamYard, and I think I shared my screen. I think Dale shared his screen for a wee bit, and then I shared my screen. But always good fun doing these things. Was Tuesday a special leap year day? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, that was that. That was good. And we played a bit of golf as well. Can't even remember the name of it. That would be something actually. The golf game, whilst it does look a bit shit, is actually pretty playable. So if anybody fancies partaking in a sort of multiplayer golf thing, let me know. If I got enough people, I may actually record it. I could stream it. So if you fancy taking part in the golf game, let me know. Video golf, that was it. So anyway, this Friday waffle, it's going to be a bit self-indulgent, and why shouldn't I? Because I'm under the weather, I've got COVID, so I'm going to do what I want to do here. So I've got a slight agenda. I've already wished Keith happy birthday. I've said that for the second time. I've mentioned what I did this week. I've mentioned the video with Del Boy. Next week, actually, this is a first. I'm actually going to be tying up with another YouTuber. Hands up if you can guess. I'm going to have a quick drink of my coffee. You get a bonus point if you can guess what YouTuber am I going to be tying up with next Thursday. I think he's actually mentioned it, so you'll probably know. Oh, yeah. Smart ass Del. Yeah. The leap year. Anyway, you do know. Down the rabbit hole, Kev. Lakoza or Panther? Well, I've already met up with Panther. Lakoza is down and he's miles away. Meeting up with Down the Rabbit Hole, Kevin. Now, Kevin and I have met once previously. We're talking probably talking about 8 years ago. Kevin and his wife came over from Canada, and I met up with them in Glasgow, and went for a meal, had a really nice time. So Kevin's actually back in the UK. I don't know whether he's back yet. I don't think he is. But he's planning to come back, and hopefully next Thursday we're going to go out for probably go for something to eat or get a drink, whatever. But yeah, we'll hopefully try and do a small video of some sort, even get some photographs. Just what's been going on in the news? I don't watch the news. I intentionally avoid the news because it's depressing. You don't get any. Can you remember the 80s news? You always got, and finally on the lighter side of the news, you would have some little warm story to kind of, to cheer you up. You don't get that anymore. Everything is so depressing. So I don't watch the news, but apparently the entire internet has gone down. Is that to do with Microsoft? Was Microsoft hacked or something? Because Kevin did say that, depending on, apparently it's affected flights and all that kind of stuff. So, if things don't sort out quick, then he won't be going anywhere. But I completely missed that. So what has been going on in the news? Totally missed it. A patch that caused a patch that actually patched something and it actually made it worse. Mental. Right, listen, the next part of this, that there waffle, is I am going to, let me just move this over here. I could tell you what I'm going to do, but I'm not. I'm just going to see how it goes. I don't know how long this thing's going to go on for, folks. I did say an extended waffle. It might be an hour, it might be 2 hours, I don't know. What I want to do, have I got? Just bear with me just now. Yeah, what I want to do is I want to share. I'm not going to share my screen for obvious reasons, but yeah, I did do a video about a month ago, probably more than that. The Master of Magic, the Rob Hubbard book by Chris Abbott. Chris very kindly gave me a copy, and part of the book is you don't just get the book or the digital download, whatever you want. You also get access to about, I think it's about 137 gig worth of music and videos and all that kind of stuff. and you've got to download it, which I have now done, and it's absolutely fascinating the amount of stuff that he's got, that Chris has pulled together, because I think it's almost every single Rob Hubbard tune. There's a folder, and within each folder there's various versions of the music, etc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for my favourite Sid tune, which everybody knows is Monty on the Run. Now hang on one little second. What I need to do, music playing, no I don't want that. Just bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to call it Sid playing. Sid play, there we go. There we are, you can hear me now. Right, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just start this just now. Yeah, so this is sorry, I'm just you guys are talking about, you're talking about various things. Yeah, let me just start this. Now, hopefully you can application audio. Can you guys hear that okay? Is it too loud? Not loud enough? How's the volume, folks? Let me know, and then I'll replay it. That's the only slight annoying thing about OBS. Well, it's not about OBS, it's about streaming. There's always that sort of 20-second delay. Let me know about how the volume was. Very quiet, started loud, now very quiet. Right, well, what I'm going to, well, I've turned it off. Just turn it up a wee bit. Right, so this is called CG Symphonic 64 Medley. I'll stop talking when it's playing, by the way. Just give me a wee, let me know in the comments if it's loud enough. It's fine, right? Okay, good stuff. Right, that was, yeah. This is all stuff that's contained within the Monty on the Run. Monty's Journey. What's that? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Monty on the Run. Don't know what that is either. There's so much stuff. That's empty images. Okay. remixes. Right, this is. I'm not going to play everything. This is a version of Monty on the Run by Slow Poison. Never heard of this one. Right, well, obviously can't listen to the whole thing because we'd be here till Christmas. So I'm just going to play it a little bit. Right, this is called This is Monty on the Run High Score, and this is by a guy who called himself Uncle and the Bacon. Let's try it. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that is bloody brilliant. It's excellent. It just goes to show that, you know, you can take a computer game, bit of music, and it's very much a real thing. That is excellent. Videos. Let's see now. This is Monty on the Run by. Oh, really? This was actually done by Ben Dalglish. And this is Monty on the Run on the CPC, which is Amstrad CPC. Let's give that a little play. for an interpretation of the C64 one, that is bloody good. Yeah, totally with Steve. You know, it's not a patch from the original, but that's still excellent. Let's have a look here. Now this is a classic. This is, in fact, what's this one here? This is a file in here called The Devil's Gallop. I don't know what this is. It's within the Monitor in the Run folder, so let's just listen to this. That does sound very much like the C64, doesn't it? What the hell? Ah, is it? Now, I didn't actually realise that. I always thought it was an original piece. I didn't realise it was based on a piece of music. Still, just take nothing away from Rob Hubbard, it's still, in my opinion, the best Sid tune ever. But didn't realise that. Thanks for the information. Right, we're going to play. Oh, we're going to play a couple more. This is the 8-bit symphony. This was by the Czech Studio Orchestra. This is live. We're going to listen to this in entirety. By the way, just in case you're late to the party, obviously this is the Friday Waffle. At the end of this, and this is where people are going to leave, I am going to. I've picked 15 pieces of music, nothing to do with computer music. I've picked 16 MP3s that I'm just going to play, and I'm going to tell you why I like that piece, what memories it has. So I know this video is going to have copyright central, it might even be taken down, so possibly this might be the only chance you'll actually get to listen to these. Well, I'm picking famous music so you can watch it on YouTube, but this video may get taken down, so you know, if you're watching it live, at least you can get to see it. So yeah, I've got 15 songs that I'm just going to listen to. It's a purely self-indulgent. So, but I've got a couple other things I want to do beforehand. So yeah, this is the 8-bit symphony, and we're going to listen to this in its entirety, all 9 minutes and 48 seconds. Enjoy. Holy shit! I didn't realise that Winamp visualization had come on so far. The bit about halfway through, it was like something out of Geiger. It was like somebody's brain. It was, whoa, bloody hell! I'll tell you one thing. I've never ever used a visualizer before, but that is something else. So yeah, listen, I'm not going to play any more for on that thing, but yeah, I was just talking about Rob Hubbard, Master and Magic. If you've got any interest at all in Rob Hubbard, his history, then go and get it. It's Chris Abbott. It's the book. You get the downloadable book, which is fantastic. I'm probably about halfway through the book. It just talks about every tune and how it came to be and the sort of background behind it. But so you've got the book as well, and the fact that you get access to all all that media, music, different versions of tunes, all that kind of stuff. It's phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant, as Codemasters would self-proclaim about their latest budget game. Right, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to play a game. Oh, now I did actually attempt to do a sort of a playthrough of this last night, but it was just being a bit. I gave up. But I'm going to play it for 10 minutes. And it's a game that inspired Castle Wolfenstein. It's on the Mister. What am I talking about? It's on the Commodore 64. There we go. Let me just jump across to my Mister. Where are we? Mister Webcam. There we have it. Right, and it's what's it called? It's called Castle Wolfenstein. A second, let's get that on my screen. Right, what I need to do here is, because I was messing about with it. There we go, get that back in there. Right, that can go there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my keyboard for a second. So thanks very much to everybody that's tuned in tonight. Right. Computer. What was the one that I was doing? The Castle Wolfenstein, believe it or not, I think it came out originally on the Apple. But I'm going to play in the C64 because that's the one that... and I'm going to cheat as well. Game based. No, I'm not going to cheat. Because that would be cheating. There's not much fun in that. Castle Wolfenstein. There was a sequel called Beyond Castle Wolfenstein. Now I did actually ask John Romero when I interviewed him last year, or the year before I think it was, and he did say that yeah, this very game was what inspired Wolfenstein. Where is it? Castle Wolfenstein. There we are. There we go. Right, and Control Escape. There we are. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that down there because there we are, that's fine. How is the sound balance? Can you hear the music all right? Now, one thing I really realised with the Mister, you can assign buttons on the keyboard to this, or to a controller, which is great. So when you're playing things like Drop Zone, you can actually, but I might give Drop Zone a wee go as well. Right, I don't want this on. No, 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 no. I think this is probably the first game I ever completed, and it was the first game that I got to see. My mate Brian had it, and he had a disc drive, and I just had a tape at that point, and I loaded up this game, and I realised that this was the only way I could possibly play this game was to get a disc drive, and I think this was the game that prompted me to actually go out and buy a disc drive. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. It's a bit clunky, as you would imagine. I'll just do F1. Now I did. You need to read this. This is obviously going to set the scene. I did assign. I did assign keys to this. I don't know whether it's going to remember them. Probably not, but I can quite easily thing with that. Hang on, I'm just going to make that a wee bit bigger. There we are, and then move it across. That's pretty good. Now, let's see, have I... Right, what I want to do, I want to go back into the mister. I want to assign buttons. So I want to go with that, and then I want to press that, which is fire. I'm going to put that onto that. Press a key to map. I did that, did I not? Why is that not working? Hang on. Clear. Right, press a key, which is that. Right, and then press that. And then we want to go that. And then we want to go that. Fire, that. I think that's it. And then is it that, and then that. Finish. Right, let's give it a go. I'm dead. Not to worry. I will need to do an 8-bit face-off kerfuffle actually in this game. Now, obviously, you've been watching this. If you have been watching this Waffle for the last hour or so, you'll think he's not really talking about video games. And I've said this before, it's because I've quite literally got nothing else to talk about, folks. If you want to hear me wax lyrical about, you know, computer games, Spectrums, Commodore 64s, video games, whatever, please give me some questions. I think I've got 2 questions. I know I've been doing a lot of live streams, which means people will watch the live stream. And now wait a wee minute. Right, there we go. I've now see I can now use the come this way. Yeah, I've now got this set to joystick, which is great. We need point down and then press. You can search. Now, if you shoot, it does reduce the time it takes, but obviously you're using bullets. Like, there we go. I've got a uniform. Now, this is one of these games that looks hideously ugly, and I'm going to show you something here. If you walk into a wall, it does that. I've already searched them, I think. I'm sure I have. Yeah, I have searched them. Right, you want to make sure you don't go into a screen with your gun drawn. Now, because I've got a uniform, it should mean that they're not going to instantly become suspicious and try and kill me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over here. And then as soon as he sees I've got my gun drawn, he's going to It's ancient, this Craig, but it's a fantastic game. It's all about stealth. Right, down here. It's one of these games you probably want to map if you're going to play it properly. Right. To look at his chest, you've got to point down the way where you're gone. And now you see there it says takes 190 seconds. If I shoot and then do it again, it's down to 35 seconds. The second game's got even more. It's got like you've got to show passes and that kind of stuff. Well, cannonball. I don't know how you can use a cannonball. No bother. Fire. There we go. That reduces it somewhat. Bulletproof vest. Yes, thank you. You now see I'm an SS card. Now, sadly, Silas Warner, who was the guy that wrote this game, he actually passed away a couple of years ago. Fire. Sometimes it's not working. Doesn't always speed it up. Liebfrauenbier. Yes, please. Put my gun away. Now, even though I've got a bulletproof vest on, if they suspect me, they can still apprehend me by catching me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a gun on him and he's going to... I wonder, how do we use the keys? I should really kill him first, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for him to go up there. Bugger off. Oh crap. Did you hear the sound there? Right, I'm out of bullets, I think. This is going to end well. Not. Right. So what I need to do... Snaps, that's not going to help us at all. This is on the Commodore 64, Craig. Right. Now it has periodically crashed and it used to do it. Right, that's fine. But he was going to apprehend me. It's only because I've got a uniform on, he doesn't know that I'm actually prisoner. I'm not getting any bullets left, that's a pain in the arse. Right, I haven't got time to sit and wait on that. Right, I'm going to have to wait. Question, looking back at only your 8-bit years, can you think of the game you put the most hours into? Mine was Elite, but for you it might be something different. Bloody hell, Craig. Uniforms to use, I've already got it, but anyway. I think it would have to be Elite. I did play a lot of Football Manager I did a lot. I played. I used to play international soccer every day for the first couple of years, but then when I got other games, I stopped playing that as much. That I think it was tough to be elite, mate. Same as yourself. Right, this is I'm going to take a risk here. Don't know whether he's going to apprehend because I've got a gun out. Oh, bollocks. Right, I think what I want to do. I think there might have been some soldiers that I never searched, so what I'm going to have to do is go back, retrace my steps, and have I checked this one? Oh, come on. He's going to apprehend me. One bullet in keys. Kaput. Right, folks, listen, time is wearing on. Now, as I've said before, well, I'm going to answer the questions just now. Let me just get back to webcam full screen. Put my mister off. There we go. I'm going to finish this stream with playing 15 of songs that I love for different reasons. Like I said, it's completely self-indulgent. Half of the songs you're probably going to think's absolute bollocks, but you know what? You can, that's up to you. I know a lot of you do share kind of similar musical tastes. But first, I'm going to. Oh, I need to go back to that. Hang on 2 seconds, folks. Tell you what I'm going to do, rather than. We'll split it up. I've got 2 questions. 2 questions here to answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 7, answer the question, and then I'm going to play another 8, and then finish off with another question. If there's any questions that pop up in between, what I will do is I'll play a song and answer the question. Right, tell you what, Steve's got a question there. What I'm going to do, see if I can I copy and paste that? I don't think I can. Right, I'm going to add that to my list. So here, listen, I'm going to just start off. I'm going to play them in order. What I need to do is I need to nick across to this, and hopefully you're going to hear some music shortly. I'm just going to play them in order. This first song was a song that I didn't hear the original of, but I heard a version of it. It was a sort of like a satire version of it, and it was on a TV programme called TFI Friday with Chris Evans. And there used to be a wee bit in the middle where he would read letters, and it was called You've Got Mail? No, it was called It's Your Letter. And Reef, the band, are going to perform this song. They had a version called It's Your Letter, and this is a song called Place Your Hands by Reef. It's like the ultimate feel-good song. When I hear it, it makes me angry, it makes me happy, it's everything. It's a fantastic song. So hopefully you can hear this. You might have to turn the sound down. This is Reef, Place Your Hands. Wow, what a tune. I never ever get tired of listening to that. Just completely epic. Absolutely epic. Yeah. This next song, it was an early 80s song, and it was by a group who, the 80s was very much a time where it was like new romantics. It was all pretty boys dressed up, your Duran Durans, your Spandau Ballets, all these guys spent a lot of time looking good and wearing sharp suits and that kind of stuff. And this group came along who, quite frankly, didn't give a shit how they looked. They used to come onto stage with just like their jumpers and their, whatever it was. They really didn't care what they looked like. And every single song that they brought out was just phenomenal. It was brilliant, and this is probably their best known song, and it's a song that John Peel said was his favourite song ever, and it's Teenage Kicks by the Undertones. Yeah, another absolutely awesome song. I love Perfect Cousin. I mean, I love the Undertones. I was lucky enough to go and see them. I never got to see them when Fergal Sharkey was the main singer. I mean, he left I think in 1987. Evening Alex. But I did get to see him a couple of years ago with a new a new lead singer. I'm saying a new lead singer. He's been a lead singer for a long time. Can't even remember his name. Paul McAloon, I think his name is. And I actually got in touch with Paul through Twitter of all places, because I followed him on Twitter, he followed me, and then I messaged him and asked him if he wanted to be in the channel. He said he would like to come on the channel. Sadly, it's never actually. I'm still waiting for him to kind of say when he can do it. Sadly, it's never actually come to anything. But that's an absolute classic one. Right, taking the tempo up somewhat. I think some of you might not like this one, but I'm a rocker at heart, and this is probably their best known song. But it's just for the bass. It's an epic song. It was a song that I played constantly back in the year 2000, and it's by a group called Metallica, who I saw in the Playhouse in 1986, and this is their top two best known songs, and this is Enter Sandman. You're joking about Forever and Ever by Dennis. Is it Demis Roussos? I actually like that, and I do actually have it on my computer. I'm not going to play it, but yeah, that could have quite easily figured in this list as just a kind of fond memory. To me, it was all about the 70s back then. But I did like that song. I did like Never. What was it again? I can't even. Forever and Ever. Yeah. Don't no need to apologise, Steve. I mean, music is very, very personal. The thing is, there's very little music that I don't like. I'm not really keen on modern music. Your Taylor Swift or all that bollocks, Ed Sheeran, but older music, I like rock. I like classical. I love electronic. I love instrumental. Um, yeah. Well, you're gonna. That was Enter Sandman with Metallica. You'll be pleased to know, Steve, that that's probably the heaviest track that I'm going to play. I've got one more rock track, but I'm going to answer a question now. Now I can find it. Let me just narrow that down for a second. That can go. Why is that not going to narrow? There we go. Right, Steve's Gaming. This was a question from last week. Hi Al, quick question for you. Did you ever buy a game and soon realise it's way too complex for you to play? At first I thought that was a piss take, mate, but I'll admit to doing it at least once. Kerbal Space Program. Way too complex for you to play. I'm tempted to say Flight Path 737. That was the one I did the video with my mate Jamie. That was just difficult. But the thing is, I did stick at it. So, you know, I didn't give up too easily. Was there a game? I think it would probably have to be a flight simulator. Now, I think it might have been, was it F-15? It was one of the Microprose games. And it came in a big cardboard box, and it had a manual and all that kind of stuff. I can visualize the I can visualize the cover art of the box, and I can't remember if it got a good review or whatever it was. It might have been before SAP actually, but yeah, I remember trying to play it, and I just gave up very quickly. I mean, I'm talking about 8-bit games. If you want to talk about more modern games, then where do you start? Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky. These are all games. The Zelda games, gave up with them after about 5 minutes. Just too complicated. Couldn't be bothered with them. The Settlers, bought the Settlers for the Amiga. Gave up pretty quick. That'll not surprise you to hear that. So yeah, there's loads of modern games that I bought and then gave up, but I think Flight F-15, whatever it was called, on the C64, that's probably one of them. So right, back to the tunes. Right, this next one, I'm gonna, what am I gonna do here? Right, this is going to go back to the 90s. This was, is that going to pick it up? Hang on a second. No, that's fine. Yeah, you can still see it here. I'll just put it back to that for a second. This one is, what am I going to play? I'm going to play, yeah, this, I'm very much an 80s person. You know, the 90s for me was a new generation of people. I was getting older. You know, I thought that the 90s music, like, you know, I can still remember my. I was with this girl at the time, and her little brother. He came into the kitchen and he'd just bought, what do you call it, Blur Parklife CD, and also, is it absolute? What's the one? The Oasis album where the guy's walking away. They both came out at the same time, and I remember thinking, "Whoa, that's that young people's music." I just didn't like it because it wasn't rock. So the 90s wasn't really. It wasn't really something that bothered me. I was never really into 90s music, but like anything, it's like I wasn't a fan of Queen, but now I love Queen. You appreciate things after the event. It's like a lot of things in life, to be fair. But the 90s music, I look back at the 90s music and think that it was a great time to be alive. There was some fantastic music, even stuff like Oasis and all that kind of stuff. But this one song, it struck a chord with me. It's an anthem. I think it's a football anthem, actually. That's the problem with bloody football supporters. They take songs. I mean, Dancing in the Dark with Bruce Springsteen, classic track. But apparently it's linked to some English footballer. Fuck off. Anyway, this is yeah. I just love this song. I think it's a great anthem. I think it's a great tune, and yeah, it's by a group that's my middle name, and it's James. Sit down. Yeah, what a tune! What a tune! Just also, it's just, you know what? It's a feel good song. It's a bit like Place Your Hands as well. Um, It's a great now. Just give me one little second. I'm just looking for something. Tell you what, I'm gonna. Right, I can do that when I'm playing the next tune. Right, yeah, just awesome, absolutely awesome. I think that was a kind of live recording actually. That one. How are we doing for people? I've still got 17 people watching. I kind of half expected everybody to tune out. Right, I'm going to bring it forwards a little. Sorry, I'm going to go back a little. That was a 90s track. This one for me was it typifies the sort of the 1980s. electronic kind of mood, electronic era. You know, there was lots of big groups, Depeche Mode and Human League and all that. Now this wasn't actually Human League. Hey Chris, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing. I hope you got back all right. Well, I know you did actually. I was talking about you guys actually. Yeah, this was a track that came out sort of towards the end of the 80s, and it featured Phil Oakey, who was the lead singer of Human League, and he got together with a young man called Giorgio Moroder. And again, I just love this track. I think it's a really happy little track, and this is Together in Electric Dreams. Yeah, if there's one song that just makes me hark for the 80s again, I think it's that song. It's just, it brings back just a really, really slice of happiness in my life. You know, things were simple, you were part of a family, things, there was no pressures in your life. It was wonderful, wonderful time. Absolutely brilliant. I'm watching these visuals on Winamp, and I've got to say they're phenomenal. And it's like the ultimate demo. I mean, if you look at some of the stuff it's coming out with, and it's all, I'm assuming it's procedurally generated with the music, just absolutely brilliant. Right, I'm going to play. Oh, I managed to add 2 tracks to this, by the way. So I'm going to go right back, and this is for Steve because I know Steve's somewhat older than the rest of us, and you know he's like yeah, pesky kids in their 80s music. So he mentioned a particular artist, and this kind of typifies the I think this was the 60s. This one, and it's by a guy. His first name, there's actually somebody in the channel tonight, Dell, and it's yeah, it's Del Shannon, and it's Runaway. Now, is this? Hopefully, this is the right one. Something about the 60s and 50s music. The music didn't last long. It was maybe 2.5 minutes, but it was so snappy, and it was just, it was innocent. You know, none of like the sort of serious bollocks that we've got now. I mean, that was a track. When my dad passed away, I got his computer, and my dad, he must have got it from like Napster or something. My dad had actually downloaded MP3s that he liked, and that was one of them. I've got a folder on my computer called Dad's 50s and 60s music, and yeah, that was one of them. So that's a song that's quite special to my heart. So right, let's jump back into. I know some people are going to be clicking on this thinking, what the hell's, I thought this was the Friday Waffle. I thought this guy Mainmeister talks about video games and what have you, and here he is, he's like a DJ, frustrated DJ. Right, the question from last week's Friday Waffle, I think it was, and it's from Colin Jones, Mr. Ponder. Excuse me, what is your favourite off-the-shelf controller? Not custom built, just one you can buy. Wow, I was going to say the Xbox 360 controller. I mean, it's a classic controller. Whilst I don't mind things like the SNES controller, I don't know. I'm going to say the Xbox Series X. I think they've absolutely nailed the controller. I've never used like a PlayStation 5, but yeah, Nintendo set the sort of the template for modern controllers. When you think of like the NES controller, the layout of the buttons, the 4 buttons are a sort of diagonal, and what was that? The SNES. I can't remember. It might have been the NES. But they set the template for it, and other companies have just taken it. Microsoft have taken it. I mean, I think the Xbox 360 controller is a phenomenal controller. It just feels so good. It's solid. It's the right kind of size. But from a quirky point of view, I don't know. Have I got it in here? No, I don't think I have. No, I don't. My Wickle Boss joystick. That was the joystick of Kings back in the 80s. And I also do like the classic Atari joystick. I think it's got a name actually. When you consider it was the first controller to kind of come out in the Atari 2600, it just got everything right. It really was. My worst controller would have to be the N64. Hate it. I think it was too faffy. It felt cheap. It felt really plasticky. I mean, especially the little yellow analog nub. Horrible, horrible thing. And yet Nintendo then went out and brought out the GameCube controller, which I think is a really, really good one. So yeah. Anyway, back to the music. Right, we've played that one. We can get rid of Georgia Moroder and Phil. Okay. Right, do we take it down a wee bit? Right, this next song, it's 1980, 1981. I'm still at school. I'm in second, third year at school. There was the mods, there was the punks, there was skinheads. I was into ska music. And whilst my first album was by Madness, I mean, I love Madness, never actually seen them. I liked all the ska groups, but the one that really I don't know, it resonated with not just me, it resonated with all my kind of pals, people that age, and it was the Specials. They were all about social, oppression and against establishment, on the kind of the sort of the coattails of like the punk. But yeah, it's all about unemployment and no jobs, and there were obviously the Specials had black and white people in it. It was about harmony and all that kind of stuff. But this one song I loved. In fact, quite funny because me and my mate, we had a band. I was going to say, and we tried real hard. Jody quit. Sorry, Jimmy quit. Jody got married. Yeah, we had a band, and I was the lead singer. And we actually played a gig. Believe it or not, we played kazoos, not guitars. We played kazoos. We actually had a gig in my bedroom, and I think 4 girls came along to watch it. And we did cover versions of Madness and the Specials, and this was one of them. And it's just an awesome, awesome, hard hitting song. And I mean, I saw the Specials. I've seen them twice, and obviously prior to Terry Hall sadly passing away. I was gutted when he died. It's never really hit me when somebody dies. But yeah, this is Concrete Jungle by the Specials. Quite hard to not sing because I've got the microphone switched on. I'm getting misty eyed just listening to this. I hope people don't mind me playing all these tunes tonight. It's just, what, like I said, I'm stuck in over the weekend, and it's an opportunity to play music and share it with good friends as well. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that. I'm going to go back to the questions. Steve's asking, some of my favourite Amiga games were K240, Covert Action, Red Storm Rising, and Flight of the Intruder. Did you buy any of those back in the day? I don't think I did, Steve. I do remember getting a copy of Red Storm Rising, I think, and I don't think I ever played it. Were these all kind of flight simulator type things? I think they possibly were, but no, I didn't actually play any of them, Steve. So right, that was the Specials Concrete Jungle. Let me have a wee look and just see. Right, this one is going to be a complete curveball. This is another quintessential 80s tune, and it's just a song that when I hear it, it's a beautiful little tune. It takes me back to being extremely young. It's when life was simple. All we had to worry about was, could we get that tape to load on our Commodore 64. I've never actually seen it. It's based as a tractor film. I've never actually seen the film, but I love the tune. It just says it's a pure nostalgia thing for me. And it's Never Ending Story by Lamal. Yeah, there we go. That's my little guilty pleasure. That about a Never Ending Story by Lamal. Like I said, it just takes me right back to a happy time. When, you know, before everything got serious, when the world was a far simpler place. Any questions, folks? I don't think there's been anything else that have appeared. Let me just delete that. You'll be glad to know we've only got another 9 songs to go. There's still 14 people watching, so that's good. If it gets to 0, then I'll probably just stop. In fact, no, what? You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to stop because this is me just playing some music that I want to listen to. And if anyone else happens to want to listen to it, then happy days. Like I said, I'll be very surprised if this video doesn't get taken down because it's going to be copyright central. So that was 80s, that's 80s, 80s, 70s. Right, I'm going to go back to the 90s. This was a group that I liked back in the 90s. I thought the lead singer was extremely fit. And I think this was their first track that they brought out, and it's very political. I didn't really listen to the words, but I was watching a YouTube video a couple of days ago actually, excuse me, where this girl will listen to a track and she'll just break it down and dissect it and talk about it. And it's a very powerful song. Like I says, it's, you know, it's got its political slant. You know, I'm not interested in politics. I just think it's a very powerful song, sung by a beautiful lady, and it's the Cranberries, and it's Zombie. Song. I mean, it's hard to get a song that's been sung with so much raw emotion. Just thinking, listen to that. The 90s was all about big epic anthems. You know, you probably remember the one hit wonder, Stiltskin. I can't remember what it was called. It was the theme tune to, I think it was Levi Jeans, where it's the Amish people. There's a guy getting washed in the river, and the Amish people go past, and the young girl sees the guy stripping off in his jeans. Yeah, just quite lost for words with that song. Actually, I think the fact that Dolores passed away a couple of years ago, I think it was suicide, and just a tragic loss, absolutely tragic. So yeah, that was Zombie by the Cranberries. Now I'm going to take it up a little. If is Steve still here? Steve, put your hand up if you're still here, mate. Yeah, again, apologies about if you think this Friday Waffle has been extremely self-indulgent, and that's because it has been extremely self-indulgent. It's an opportunity for me just to play some music and share it with people. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of copyrights I get for this, because I'll have about 19 copyrights. Hopefully I don't get any kind of warnings or anything. I don't want any takedowns. Dell's got a question. Okay, question and personal. What 1970s song sums up the 70s for you? Mine would be a track from War of the Worlds. You might know what song's coming last, Dell. Yeah, apart from that one, it would probably have to be. We as a family, we used to go down. We used to go down to a place called Roydon, which was down in Essex, and we used to camp. There was me, my mum, dad, and my 2 sisters, and we used to drive down, go down the A1, stop at Scotch Corner. We used to leave the house at like 2 o'clock in the morning, stop at Scotch Corner, and my mum would make up rolls and like coffee and whatever it was, and we'd get down there, and you know, like everything in the 70s, everybody shared the music. You listened to what was on the radio, and there's a song by Hughes Corporation, "Rock the Boat." Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat, don't tip the boat over. Rock the boat, don't tip the boat over. Rock the boat. You know the one. Song slightly better, but yeah, that song. There's so many tunes from the 70s that I could just say, but I think the one The one that's going to be featured. I've played it loads of times, and it's going to be the one I'm going to finish this stream with. You know what one it's going to be. So thanks, Dale. That's grand. Right, is Steve still here? Hopefully Steve is still here. You need to comment, Steve, and let me know. Right, where are we? Have we done that one? Right, I'm going to. Right, this next one. It was Saturday Superstore, and it was the basement. Oh, there's Steve. I'm going to play your song in a minute, Steve. It was in the basement of Saturday Superstore. It was Keith Chegwin, and he had on this new up and coming pop star guy called Howard Jones, and this was his solo debut, and it was a song called New Song, and he had the guy that did all the kind of the sort of, he used to kind of pose about, a bald guy with like chains on, whatever it was. But this song just really struck a chord. I was actually torn between having this song or Take On Me by Aha, but that may, if people enjoy this video, I may do another one of these where I just play songs that mean something to me. You can let me know in the comments if you want to see another one of these ones. But yeah, it was Howard Jones' New Song, and it completely resonated with me. And I went out and bought the album, and I've seen Howard Jones twice in concert, and again, it just typifies the 80s, the sound of the 80s to me. So this is Howard Jones, and this is New Song. Right, I'm going to go back to, let's see, I'm going to go back to 90s, 80s. I'm going to go back to early 80s. And this group, they came out, they were, all the punks used to like this group, but I liked them as well. And I had a birthday party. I don't know what age I'd be about 10 years old, and one of my mates that came to the party bought me this single. It was my first ever single, and I think that makes me pretty damn cool. And it's yeah, it's by the Stranglers, and it's called No More Heroes. Listen to that opening guitar riff. Oh, what a track. Yeah, that takes you right back to whenever it was, I don't know, 1978, something like that, back in Canberra Street at my party. What a track that is. And you know what? I can't actually find the single. I was looking for it a couple of weeks ago and I can't find it. Now, you'll be pleased to know, or maybe not pleased to know, that in the interim of listening to this, I've since added another two songs to play. Uh, so we have, let me see, get rid of that. We have now got another 8 songs left. If there's any other questions, pop them up. But anyway, let's get back to before I messed up with the copying the wrong song. Yeah, Elvis Presley. This is one of my favourites, and it's Burning Love. This is especially for Dale's mum. Bless your mum, Dale. Yeah, that's happy song, as Steve says. If you don't tap your foot to that, then you're officially dead. Right, a question from Dale. What song has the most, any era has the most meaning in its lyrics? I think songs, when they resonate, it's invariably about something that's sad. And I think that would probably be, there's 2 songs, and the reason I picked them will become apparent. My mum got cancer in 1998, and they couldn't do anything for her. Yeah, sorry, folks. Yeah, and it's a song by the Verb called "The Drugs Don't Work." Sorry, obvious reasons. Yeah, and the other one, which excuse me, was "Time to Say Goodbye" by, it was Sarah Brightman. I can't remember who it was. Um, yeah, no, I'm still here. Just welling up a wee bit there. That's a powerful question. Yeah, the drugs don't work. Right, listen, I need to move on. Oh, dear me. Yeah, that was Born in Love by Elvis. Uh, nah, you know what? It doesn't matter about grief. It doesn't matter how long ago you lose somebody. It's still very raw. Oh. Right, I'm going to cheer myself up a wee bit. I don't listen. I don't apologise, Dale. I think if nothing else, it proves that this is a real channel, real stream. If you know what I mean. Right, this is quite an appropriate song. This one, it's a song by back in the 80s at school when we were all jumping about to punk and God knows what else. There was a guy that listened to this song. It was by a guy called Christy Barr. I'd never heard of him, and it got. I went down to his house and he let me hear this album called Spanish Train, and like I said, I'd never heard of the guy before, and he didn't look like a pop star. He had a dodgy haircut. He was old, and but that song Spanish Train was like it was a it started a lifelong love of this guy, Christy Burr. And this is it's probably one of his most famous ones, and I think it's just a fantastic song. I could play other ones that I like, but this is one that he's well known for, and this is quite appropriately high on emotion. That's an awesome track. Things people just when you talk about Christy Burr, people just think of Lady in Red, which I don't like. It's a cheesy song. He's one of the best story writers when it comes to music. All his music's, it paints a picture. So listen, folks, sorry for getting quite emotional earlier on there. Obviously, Gail asked a question, and you know, anyone that's lost anyone close to you, when you talk about it, it just brings it right back to the fore. Yeah, it's it's I never. It's the first time I've got emotional talking about my mum for a long time. But I think it's just when you talk about it and you think about it, So yeah, but like I said, if nothing else, it proves that I'm a real person. I'm not. I don't make stuff up. It's what you see is what you get. So yeah, listen, that was high in emotion. We've got five to go now. I'm going to jazz it up a wee bit. Go back to the 80s, early 80s. This group, the lead singer was Scottish. It was a group. It was going to be my first ever gig. They were playing at the Assembly Rooms in Edinburgh, and sadly, the lead singer I think he lost his voice. So the gig was cancelled, and I never ever did get to see them, and I'm never going to get to see them now because tragically, the lead singer actually committed suicide. And it's not who you're thinking it is. You're thinking it's Stuart Adamson, Big Country. It's not. It's Billy Mackenzie of a duo called Teardrop Explodes. The Associates. yeah, the Associates, and they had two big tracks. One was Country Club, and which I think might have been, I can't remember if it was the first or second song, but this was their other best known one. Um, Billy Mackenzie has got the most phenomenal falsetto voice. Wait till you hear the high pitches that this guy can reach. His tone, his range of vocals is just something else. So yeah, this is Associates, and this is Party Fears too. Yeah, it's possibly a song a lot of you guys have never heard of, but again, that was just a phenomenal anthem from back in the day. So I've never ever got to see the Associates live. I'd love to have seen them. So listen, thank you very much to the 11 people that are still sticking with me. It's 2 hours and 35 minutes in. I've got 4 tracks left. Is there any questions at all you want? Oops, I've almost deleted the wrong one there. Any questions? Anything you want me to talk about? Right before I finish off, we've got 4 left. I've just, in fact, yeah, Colin has actually mentioned this. I was into ska music, and then into ska punk and electronic music, and then this group came along. One of my mates, who Panther actually met on Saturday. One of my mates, Don, he was into metal music. He was into like heavy metal. You need to remember when you're into like electronic music, status quo for heavy metal. You know, you just everything that had the guitar in it was classed as heavy metal. And one of the groups that he was in there, I can't remember what they call it. Was it progressive rock, whatever? Um, it was a group called Marillion, and this particular track was it was the first song, I think. Was it the first song? No, it wasn't the first song. No, absolutely it was. I think it was the 4th track, but it was probably my favourite Marillion album, and it was Misplaced Childhood. Now, I was very lucky to see Fish perform Misplaced Childhood in its entirety about 4 years ago. Um, and this is, yeah, this is probably not my favourite track from the album, but it's, again, it captivates it captivates the whole 80s, and this particular track was covered by Bog. I think there was also another track, New Song, which Colin said that as well. Bog was a Sid composer. He was one of the first kind of Sid composers, and I used to listen to this track all the time. You've probably guessed what it is. Music play, there we go, and it's Marillion, and this is Misplaced Childhood. And the reason that finishes suddenly is because Misplaced Childhood, I think it was the only album they did that. It's just one massive track, so they all blend into each other. There's not actually any gap. And what was interesting when I went to see Fish, I've seen Fish 3 times I think live. He was talking about how everybody used to copy. You would borrow an album of your pal and you'd put it on a tape. They deliberately made Misplaced Childhood. I think they made it like 91 minutes long so that it wouldn't fit on a C90. They made it bigger than the biggest tape, so you couldn't actually get the whole album on. So yeah. Steve's asking if I can do this again next week. I'll see how I go, Steve. It depends what I'm up to, but it's interesting to know if you've enjoyed this. As I said, it's been very, very self-indulgent. It's been all about me. I've picked all the music. And I'll probably, yeah, it's me that's picked it all. It's not really been about video games at all, but as long as you guys have enjoyed it, I've certainly enjoyed it. It's been it's interesting. You do a live stream. You're not actually talking. You're not actually talking like face to face. I'm just looking into a webcam, and yeah, it I got quite emotional. That's quite a powerful thing. So that was Misplaced Childhood. Right, I've got two left, folks, and then I'm going to let you guys get to bed. Um, this next one is it's a song by a group that the guy that liked Christy Burr, he was a rocker. He was into all kind of, well, in fact, it was AC/DC and Christy Burr, and this is the one track that I was at my mate's house, and he had just got. Do you remember back in the 80s and 90s? You wanted, when you bought, it was all about owning separates. You know, you didn't want a built-in hi-fi. You wanted to own separates. So you had your amplifier, you had your deck, you had your cassette, you had your CD player, and you used to get these big fuck-off speakers that sat on top of stands, and the stands would have sand inside them. This is what we did back in the 90s. Now it's all about Alexa, play this tune. But back then it was all about owning separates. And I remember being up at my mate's house with my girlfriend, and we were getting drunk, and it was getting late, but we were drunk, and I said, go and play this. Can you play this track? And he turned the bass up to like ridiculous levels. It was like Spinal Tap. He turned it up to 11, and when this track came on, I remember I was sitting near the speaker, and you could actually feel it pulsating. Boom, boom, boom. You could feel the air in your face. It was such a powerful, powerful track, and for that reason, I forever love it. And it's by the group I've just mentioned. It's AC/DC, and it's Touch Too Much. Yeah, it's I don't know, 1994 all over again. Fantastic. And obviously, it's got Bon Scott singing it as well, which I do like Brian Johnson, I must admit, but Bon Scott, he's a man for me when it comes to that song. So listen, thank you very much to everybody that's still with me. We're almost at the 3 hour mark. I've got two songs left to go. You probably know what's coming up to finish off with. The the penultimate song I'm going to pick. It's a guy that my mate Gavin used to love, and I just thought the guy was a bit nah. You know, he wasn't really one of the cool kids. But going back and listening to his music now, I realise what a phenomenal songwriter and singer he was. And I love this song. I know it's been covered by multiple people, but I think it's a beautiful song. He's got a really, really rich, lovely voice, and it's we've already played one version, and it's by a guy called Elvis Costello, and this is Shipbuilding. Okay, folks, listen, that's 2 hours and 56 minutes. I'm going to sign off right now. You probably know what song I'm going to finish with. It's The Law. I've played this song quite a few times. Before I do, I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everybody that's taking time to join me tonight. I'm aware that I've taken up your entire Friday night. You know, that's no mean thing. There must be better things to do than listen to an old bloke. But if you want to if you ever wanted to have like a Main Meister soundtrack to your life, then what you do is download this video and just put all these songs onto a tape, and that's me. I think it's interesting doing something like this because it shows it shows all sides of me as a person, the different tracks and that kind of stuff. And it would be the same for anybody, you know, being allowed to just play your own music. I will definitely do another one of these again. I can't say I'm going to do it next week, but I definitely will do it again. Glad that you've enjoyed it. I've had an absolutely great time doing it tonight. Even getting a wee bit emotional with Dell's question, but you know what? Like I said, it proves that we're real people, and it's always nice just to kind of remember people by. So I'm going to finish off. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic weekend. I'm going to finish off with this song. This again takes me back to mid 70s, I think it was. My memory might be playing up. It takes me back to warm, hazy summers as a child. My dad's at work, my sisters are at school, I'm too young to go to school. My mum is pottering about in the kitchen, doing housework, whatever, and yeah, just I'm playing with my action man, playing with my toys, and it's a, I don't know why, but it takes me back to that time. It's the quintessential 70s song for me. You know what it is, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my wee video because I'm going to say good night. This is Forever Autumn by Justin Hayward, and it's part of the War of the Worlds. So thanks for watching, guys. Please enjoy this to the very, very end. This is an absolute classic track. Take care, guys. See ya.